We have some Rachel Goes Rogue drama to discuss. Now, Rachel's podcast, good for her. She still has it up and running. I'll give her that. Now, do I listen to it? No. But if someone posts an interesting clip, I might give it a listen. So, what is Rachel going on about now? Well, we're going to get into that. But before we do, subscribe, get your girl to 1,000. Much appreciated. I cover all things Bravo, Housewives, Bravo loves, hot tea, pop culture tea, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the world of Rachel. I'm not going to play it, guys, but basically, she is reconfirming what Lala and Sheena have been saying regarding the chat uh, producers had with cast mid-season when it came to filming season 11. The first couple episodes, we clearly saw that it was filming that they did not long after season 10 and the reunion had wrapped up. And they still wanted to focus heavily on the aftermath of Scandival. Now, it wasn't giving what they thought it was going to give, meaning Ariana was not going to play ball and talk to Tom Sandoval. She was living her reality, and we could get into a whole separate conversation about, well, you're also filming a show. But that was Ariana, what she wanted to do or not do. We had Lala and Sheena very much being two-faced on in front of Ariana. They were all like girl power, but then when we looked at their behavior, it was very much team Sandoval, Ariana and Sandoval, you guys need to talk, we got to pay for our mortgages, we got to get that epic scene. Like, that's all they were about. Now, going back to what Raquel said on her podcast, she was at the facility at that point getting treatment and working on her mental health. She was focusing on herself. Good for Raquel for at least choosing herself, because being with someone like Tom, we're not going to use the term groomer in the sense that, we've used it in like Hollywood, but there is a big age gap, about 11 years, I think, is the age gap. He was a 40-year-old man at the time, maybe 12 years even. And I think she was like 28. So there is an age gap there. And even when she was at the facility, he was still trying to get a hold of her. And apparently, he could only get a hold of Raquel via email and via her publicist. But she couldn't, like, have her phone and like really talk to the outside world, I guess. So Rachel was like, no, I'm not coming back. You guys are not paying me what I think I should be getting paid. Now, we have to remember, when it comes to the salaries of these folks on VPR and even a lot of the housewife shows, just because you bring more drama a certain season doesn't necessarily mean the following season or that season you will get paid more than some of the other cast members who've been on a lot longer than you. So Rachel was all like, well, I should get paid more because, I'm the center of drama. Without me, this whole scandal wouldn't have happened. And this girl honestly just made some poor choices. She was quiet ish. Well, no, she wasn't. She was doing those random TMZ interviews at the nail salon or whatever. She didn't come back to the show. According to Lisa Vanderpump, if you guys recall that interview she did, it was like paparazzi had like caught her randomly. And LVP was like, well, she would have made about over 300K. Guys, making over 300K for about 3 to 4 months of work, and even with the high taxes, I guess, you guys pay in the state of California, even if you take away half of a little more than 300K, that's still a good amount of money for 3 to 4 months of work, which is what Raquel was leaving behind, is my understanding. That's like a ballpark. Obviously, we don't have the full details. right? It is what it is. But this girl chose to not go back to the show, start her own podcast. Who knows how much this podcast is making? But you know what? She's still doing her podcast. Good for her. A lot of podcasts, they don't last a very long time. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think? Should Rachel come back? Like, how would it work out? Would she work things out with Sheena, who she apparently got into a fight with, and then she had that mark on her face? I think Lala would eat her alive, but then they would have a mistress connection, and then all three of them would talk about their sob stories, about them making dumb mistakes in their 20s. That's how I see it if Rachel does come back. But other than that, you guys, let me know your thoughts on all these, VPR people running their mouths on their respective podcasts or on other people's podcasts and Amazon Lives and whatnot. Do you guys want Rachel back? Let me know. I cover all things Bravo, Housewives, some good pop culture tea. Definitely subscribe, and I will catch you all later.